right, I'm gonna kick off. It's 3 p.m. UK time, so we'll kick off then. Welcome everyone to the Unlock Your Future with Amazon session. We're really delighted to have the opportunity to have you here today. Tell us a bit more about Amazon, our culture, our recruitment process, and so on. We have also really special guests today, so we'll go over the agenda today. But as I was mentioning earlier, please feel free to use the chat. We're going to be having an interactive session today, so please feel free to comment. How are you feeling today? Or, of course, if there's any questions throughout the session, please feel free to ask them. My colleague will be answering them as much as possible. So welcome again. We're gonna kick off and I'm going to start with an introduction about myself. So my name is Angela and I'm one of the internship recruiters here at Amazon. My team and I recruit for interns all over Europe, including UK. I actually have been at Amazon around 2 years. This month in October will be my second year anniversary, which I'm really excited about. For me, it's been an incredible journey so far. I had the chance to learn and develop my skills, also have fun. At Amazon, they provide a lot of opportunities, and I recently had the chance to actually work on a short-term assignment supporting the North American team, which has been such an experience for me, and it really took me to the next level within the organization. I'm really glad to have the opportunity to work on these short-term assignments where you go participate in others' teams, help them, support them, learn new things, and also potentially bring those things that you learn to your official team. So amazing experience I had. I personally love recruiting interns myself. It is really rewarding seeing how our interns are growing within Amazon's organization, eventually becoming full-time employees and really having ownership and having an impact since day one, since they join. So I personally love how rewarding it is to recruit for interns myself. But hey, today I'm not alone. My lovely colleagues Lucia and Katarina will be the other co-hosts. So my colleague Lucia will take over later to show you us some tips and tricks around interviewing. And my colleague Katarina, who's on camera now, will be leading the roundtable for our guests. There we go, Lucia. We have Lucia on camera now as well. Katarina will be also leading the roundtable with our lovely guests that we have today. But I'm going to follow with the agenda for today. This is our agenda for today. We will start talking a bit more about our vision at Amazon. We'll be telling you a bit more about Amazon and Amazon operations, especially how is our recruitment process, so you can get a little bit of an understanding of how do we recruit. Then we will have a live roundtable with former Amazon interns, our lovely Vivian and Jess. And they will be telling you all about their experience at Amazon being interns, which is going to be super insightful, super interesting. So stay tuned until the end. At the end, we will do a Q&A session and we will share some opportunities that we have available for you now, internship opportunities. We will have that Q&A session at the end, but in the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. My colleague Katarina will be answering them through the way as much as she can. Let's move on. We'll start with Amazon's vision. So what is our vision? We are a quite peculiar company here at Amazon. You probably have heard of it. But we're really a company that focuses on customers and working backwards from there. So this is really much related to one of our very important leadership principles of Amazon, which is called customer obsession. Our obsession for focusing on customer and always making customer-centric decisions at Amazon. We are also really well known about our willingness to invent. We might not always be understood or be successful with our inventions, but we're risk takers here at Amazon. So this is also very much related to one of our leadership principles of Amazon, that it's called invent and simplify. And also has to do with our risk-taking culture and our two-way door decision culture as well, which means that basically if you're about to implement an idea, go for it, evaluate the risks. If there's another door that it can open after your failure, go for it and go ahead with your idea. So again, we're risk taker here at Amazon, and we really look for long-term approach over short-term approach. So we're really looking for having that long-term impact in our customers. It might take several years to see the results of our impacts, but we really want to make sure that we're doing the right thing here at Amazon. So now that I've told you a bit more about our vision, Amazon, so you can get to know a bit more about our culture, I'm gonna tell you a bit more about Amazon operations and the journey of our package. Why I'm telling you about this? Because it's really important to understand the Amazon operations for any kind of internship that you do, for any kind of department that you work on. You will be involved in somehow in part of this Amazon operations journey. So I wanted to provide a bit of a snapshot of how Amazon operation works. To meet customer demand, we have built a really highly connected, integrated logistics network, as you can see here, which provides an end-to-end supply chain from vendor to customer, powered by innovations and really technological advancement that we have in our centers. So just for you to get an idea, after you click buy now, when you're on your Amazon app and you click buy now, a shipping employee, so one of our associates in the fulfillment center, picks the order for you. The goods are usually packed and leave the fulfillment center. Then they reach to a sortation center. Sortation centers are what we call middle mile buildings. And in the sortation centers are where the parcels are sorted as per its word. And they are sorted by the delivery area that the package has its destination. And then from the sortation center, they go to what we call a delivery station. So there in our delivery station, or what we call last mile, the parcels are distributed to deliver vehicles and the typical Amazon vans that you will see on the streets come from those delivery stations. And finally, they bring that package to you. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of complexity in our fulfillment operation network. It's actually quite a wide one. You can see here how big is our operation networks. So just talking about fulfillment centers, which are the biggest centers that we have 175 globally, but that doesn't include delivery stations or sortation centers, just for you to imagine the magnitude of our network, especially within Europe. In case you're doing an operations internship, for example, you'll be most likely working in one of our centers, which is a really dynamic environment and super fun to work in. I wanted to also tell you a bit more about our culture and how you can really make an impact, or how you can benefit from doing an internship with us and Amazon. Amazon is, as I was saying, very peculiar. We're very unique in terms of the scale, the growth that we've been going through, and also the challenges that we provide. I would say, in terms of our environment, it's a very demanding environment where you will have to work hard, play hard, but also make history. That's our that's our saying. And I would say Amazon is a very exciting place to work because of different reasons. First is the development that we provide, or that you can get within Amazon through not just promotions, but also open feedback, developing sessions that you can have with your managers, being exposed to senior leaders, being exposed to other teams, really having that ownership with your projects. Second is the short-term assignments that can help with that development that I was mentioning earlier. Myself, I had the experience to go through those short-term assignments where you change teams, or even you can move internationally to do that short-term assignment and learn from other teams and then come back to your original team. I would say there's endless potential opportunities, as I was mentioning, nationally and internationally. So the way that you can benefit from it is really being ready to be flexible and mobile. We love people with strong analytical skills. We love people that are willing to learn and willing to be curious, willing to grow within our organization. And we're also really keen to bring people who is really people-driven, willing to collaborate, and looking for developing their leadership skills. Sorry, I need some water. Thank you. Moving on, we wanted to bring you some hints around why do we want to hire interns and why we hire interns in general. I would say we in general face really complex challenges, and we need smart people to overcome these challenges. So we need people who make data-driven decisions, who are willing to solve problems, who are go-getters. We know that the skills that you develop during your studies can be used also in our activities, in our projects. So we don't really are seeking for experience in our internships. We're looking for potential and that eagerness to learn and being curious and really make an impact. So in terms of opportunities, we have many opportunities within our teams. We have field operation opportunities, and we also have corporate operations internships. At the end, we will provide some links where you could click on them and apply for our internships. But just to provide a little bit of visibility on what's the difference between our field operation internships and corporate operations internships. So our field operations internships are internships that where you could be based in any of our distribution centers. It could be any of the ones that I mentioned earlier. So it could be a fulfillment center, sortation center, or delivery station. In this kind of internships, you usually be on the shop floor, meaning on site in the distribution center. That's at the heart of where everything happens, right? Where all the shipments are made, where all the goods arrive, and so on. So this is the role where you will be closer to our customer and also to our associates. The people that usually is in the fulfillment centers or delivery stations is people, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But But yeah, what I was saying is that the people that usually work in our centers are people who usually picking, packing, stowing, and you as a leader in the field, you'll be taking on a managerial role that require people management skills. Therefore, if you're interested in people management, this might be one of the roles for you. At the same time, we also have corporate operations internships. Those are usually based in offices or desks, most likely based in corporate offices, but also sometimes based in our distribution centers. Typically, those roles are a bit more individual contributor roles where you will not be managing teams, but they're really interesting in the sense that you will be owning a project, really taking ownership of that project and making an impact to the specific team that you've been allocated to. They tend to focus on more support functions, and some of the internships that you can expect in a corporate environment are finance internships, business analytics, business intelligence, HR, recruitment, procurement, program management, etc. So we will be sharing some of those opportunities later at the end of the presentation, but I'm going to now hand over to my lovely colleague Lucia, who's going to talk to you about some tips and tricks around interviewing at Amazon. So over to you now, Lucia.
Hello, nice to meet you. Thank you, Angela. Hope you all can hear me perfectly fine. My name is Lucia. I'm also one of the recruiters. I work with Angela's and Katarina's team. I have kind of a similar background. Always worked in recruitment. I was born and raised in Argentina and moved to Spain a couple of years ago. And I recruit for Europe and, well, of course, for UK and for Turkey and some many different other countries. And I believe in the next slides, I will address some of the questions that are in the chat, but don't worry because A, regarding opportunities, we will have time with all of the links to send to you. And B, we will also have time to address the questions that are directly in the chat. So let's begin. Of course, you're wondering, okay, I want to apply to Amazon. How can I do it? What's the interview like? What's the recruitment process? I will talk about that. So the first thing is that all of our open roles are published in amazon.jobs. Okay, that's our website. You can search by locations, by business categories, by job categories, by keywords, anything that you want, you will find it there. Okay, it's where we publish all of our open locations. All of the recruitment process is entirely virtual. Okay, this does not mean that you will not have face-to-face interviews, because you will, but they are going to be from a computer. Okay, I will then dive deep a bit more in how the interview process works. The average of the process is 4 weeks, so I do know this is fast. We are a very fast-paced environment, so when we are talking about an internship, it's pretty quick, even though the start date can be next year. So also don't worry if things go super fast at the beginning and then they slow down a bit. We are a high head recruiting team, meaning we secure the internships for the following season. So all in all, it's going to last 4 weeks until you get your offer. Another tip I would give when you're applying to Amazon is to tailor your CV to the job description. Okay, so if you search in amazon.jobs, you will see both the basic qualifications and the job description of the position. So make sure, of course, that you meet the basic qualifications and that you have adapted your CV and highlight on what is it that you're actually interested in. Or let's say you are applying for an internship that requires SQL, and maybe you know it, but you haven't really added it. It's good to review that and really tailor it to what is it that you are wanting, what internship you are aiming for. Also, the star methods and the part of the data and the metrics are super important when someone is applying to Amazon. But again, this is just an overview. I will really get into the details in the next slides. But overall, how is the interview process? It's an online application, then it's a video interview, and then it's a panel interview. That it's kind of the live interview. Well, you have your cameras on, and the interviewers have their cameras on. So here we can dive into it in more details. So the first step, of course, you go into amazon.jobs and you apply online. You will have just some questions you need to answer, and Once you applied, a recruiter, could be me or anyone on my team or any recruiter, will review your application. If you meet the basic qualifications, you will be pushed forward to the second step, which is the assessment. It's called a higher view or video interview. So what you will receive is a link. You will have 10 days to answer those questions, although I do recommend do it as soon as possible. Just you click into the link, you reply. It's generally could be, an assessment like on SQL or on Excel. It really depends on what is that you are applying to. We will also ask you about, your graduation date, your motivation, and you will have a couple of questions, behavioral questions. So it's a type it's a type of questions we ask. We're not going to we're going to ask you about like examples in the past or situations in the past that you lived, and that of course you just like record yourself. This means that you will see the question in the screen and you will click record and you will answer it. And then of course we will be the ones reviewing, and if you again meet the expectations of what we are looking for in the role, you will be pushed forward to what we call a panel interview. A panel interview for an internship consists of two interviews with two different people from the business, on the same day. So it's half an hour with the first reviewer and half an hour with the second one. Before this panel, we offer what we call prep calls. Okay, prep calls are preparation calls in which a recruiter, could be me or anyone on my team, will walk you through how a panel interview is structured, examples of the questions, some tips and tricks, what to do and what not to do. I say offer because, as you can see in the screen, it's not mandatory, it's voluntary, but I always strongly suggest all of my candidates to join the prep call. Okay, because by doing so, you will fully understand what's going to be expected from you at a panel stage. Okay, so you attend the prep call, hopefully you go through the panel. Once the panel is done, that is two interviews, 1 hour, 1 day. In 5 days, you will have the final outcome. So if you are not inclined, you just will receive an email. We do not provide individual feedback, so we will just let you know that we're unsuccessful, and that if you are successful, then you will be reach out either by email or via phone call, letting you know, of course, the outcome and placing you in what we call a talent pool. A talent pool basically means that you are successful and we will eventually link you to a requisition, so to an open role, in order to extend you an offer. And of course, we can schedule a call for you, discuss, the start date, any doubts you may have, the package, comp and benefits, and everything, so that everything is done after the offer. So that process is a 4-week process on average. Moving forward, okay, you're wondering, okay, great, Lucia, you mentioned the questions are going to be about examples in the past, about situations in the past, but about what? So it's always going to be based on our leadership principles. Okay, our leadership principles are the values of our company, and we like to assess them in our interviews. So this is the list of the different leadership principles. What I will also recommend is that you can just search them and read, what customer obsession means to Amazon. What does ownership mean to Amazon? What does earn trust mean to Amazon? And think about situations in the past where you've demonstrated those leadership principles. Where you read what earn trust means and go, oh, yeah, I do believe in this situation in my university. I can demonstrate that leadership principle. So think about those examples, and remember that it's always going to be based on leadership principles. Okay. Um, Once you thought about those leadership principles, about those examples, you may be wondering, okay, great, but how do I actually answer the questions? And drum bass, because the answer is always using the STAR method. Okay, the STAR method is our method. Interviewers will be expecting you to use the STAR method once you are replying your questions. So again, you may be wondering, what does STAR stand for? So S stands for situation. So it's really kind of setting the scene of what is it that you're going to be talking about. So describe the situation that you were in or the task that you needed to accomplish. Then it goes to T for task. So what was your goal? What were you working towards? And then A stands for actions. So what were the actions you took in order to address the situation. And here we want you to focus on what was your contribution. So we know you worked as a team, that is great, but please focus on what you did. And then R stands for result. So sometimes candidates go, oh, and in the end, everything was good. Well, I'm glad, but that's not good enough. Okay. We want you to be able to describe the outcome of your actions. What happened? How did the event end? What did you accomplish? What did you learn? So give us all of the details. And remember, always follow the STAR method. So some tips. So the first one is be aware of timing. So in each interview, each interviewer will ask maybe 2-3 questions, so you should be fully able to speak freely for at least 2 or 3 minutes answering the question using the STAR method. So be aware of timing and take your time. Then keep your introduction concise. Sometimes it does happen that hello there sorry, sometimes it does happen that you get too enrolled in like setting the scene and giving too many details at the beginning, and we really want you to focus in everything but also on the actions. So keep your introduction concise on and follow the STAR method. And also when you are just introducing yourself, it's also you can briefly introduce yourself, the interviewers will be briefly introduce themselves, but remember you have only half an hour and a set of leadership principles of questions, so keep track of your time. Also, just relax and be yourself and enjoy the experience. I do believe, of course, I am on the other side, but I was once also a candidate that sat for my prep call and sat also for my panel. So enjoy the experience. It's an opportunity. You will learn a lot about Amazon, our particular way of interviewer. And I am a strong supporter that in each interview you grow. So just enjoy the ride. Lastly, the dress code is be comfortable. You don't need to be wearing like a suit or a fancy dress or anything. Just be comfortable and be yourself. And just some more tips. And excuse me, we are all coughing. We definitely have a flu, but we're getting better. So the first one is just keep calm and try again. In the case you're unsuccessful, don't give up. You can apply to all of the open roles that you are interested in, and you can try again in the next couple of months if you're successful at that one. Remember that finding a job isn't always easy. You need to make sure is this aligned with the type of internship I want to do? Is it the type of company? Is it the type of work schedule and everything? And it does take time. Finding a job is also a job, so it's not always easy. Just don't give up. It can take some hard work and effort, but it will definitely pay off at the end. I can assure you, all of our internships, they are project based, so you will learn a lot about how this big company works. And lastly, just take learnings from each experience and try to always improve. Of course, you will be evaluated after your internship, so you will receive feedback, and always trying to improve and make the most of it is a great way to do so and to live your internship here at Amazon. So I will just leave my presentation there because now because we have a lot of questions, and because now I will also introduce my colleague Katarina, and she will also welcome our internship experience with Vivian and Jess. So Kat, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Lucy. I just wanted to first introduce myself, and I know that we have a couple of questions in the chat. Some of them are so interesting that I think it will be, very good to answer them before we move into this roundtable with both Vivian and Jess, which I just wanted to double thank again for being here and sharing your experiences. I think no more than both of you or any other ex-intern at Amazon could, say a little bit more about their experience. I think we are, as recruiters, very biased, so I think your opinion is especially important for those that are hearing us today. So just a quick presentation on myself. I'll go through the questions on the chat, then come back to the internship experience to introduce you both, Jess and Vivian. You can take a look at their background and what they did in this slide, and I will start with some questions for this roundtable. So I had a question, Lucia, maybe you can jump back again because I thought that this question would be very good for you. Let me back here. Where is it? All right. So someone asked whether you have reasonable adjustments for people with disabilities. I think you are the best person to answer this question. So go ahead and tell us if you do have some adjustments that we do for PWD candidates.
And the answer is a big, bold yes, we do. So please, if you have a disability or you know someone that is eventually interested and they have a disability, go ahead and apply. Apply to our jobs, okay? It just says an end of the line in the advertisement that we are an equal opportunity. So we will be able to adjust with whatever needs you need, both supporting for you to interview and of course to conduct your internship. So yes, please do so.
All right, good. So I think it's actually one of our biggest, I'd say, culture about Amazon is that we welcome everyone in, especially as well those with PWD, and we make every adjustment possible to let um, people with all kinds of personality, background, disabilities to join. I just wanted to answer as well. I think it was Matt that made a question about how does Amazon encourage interns to think innovatively and contribute to fresh ideas to the company. Are there any specific programs or initiatives designed to promote innovation among interns? And I think this question will be very good for both of you. I can just share some thoughts on my experience. So yeah, I've been in Amazon for almost 2 years. I've recruited always university students. My path has always been as well very close to universities and with university students. So I'm very passionate about being in contact with early talent. As Angela mentioned, just seeing that kind of impact that we see through their career path, and being the one at first, spotting that talent is just a beautiful experience overall. Um, been hiring for multiple roles, for multiple teams within EMEA, with North America, always in the university candidate space, always in campus. And yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. I'm now hiring for finance, procurement, loss prevention, and WHS. A lot of positions, but super excited to start this internship season that we are going ahead with. Um, I wanted to introduce you. So, just wanted to say to Matt, sorry, forgot about this. To my experience, Matt, I think that it's very culture about Amazon. I think we welcome every intern that comes with an idea for improvement, for process improvement, for innovation. That is very welcomed at Amazon. It's the other way around. We actually want you to come with those ideas, participate in any learning experience. There are a lot of clubs for interns to join, sustainability if you are passionate about. So there's always these opportunities, but it really depends as well on your bias for action. If you like to do something, take the ownership of doing that and go for it, because it's very much welcome, those kind of ideas and those kind of innovative ideas that can bring um, another experience to our customers, to our stakeholders. But I will let Vivian and Jess answer that at the end. I wanted to start by introducing these two beautiful ladies here today. Vivian, I know that you had background in business management. You started Amazon as a project management manager intern in Amazon Fresh, a very specific business of Amazon, and then you have transitioned for a full-time position. You are now an analyst at capacity planning and Amazon logistics, super different from the first experience that you had. You are based in London. And Jess, you are here with us with a little bit of a different experience, because you did start, you came from a Master of Architecture. You started in operations and Amazon logistics as an operations intern for similar to an area manager position. You then transitioned for a full-time position as area manager. So same path. I'm sure you fell in love with logistics in that space, in a different business, transport services, and you're now based in Leicester. So definitely a very different experience. So we wanted to bring as well different paths for you to see that, it's possible within Amazon to have, I would say, different career paths depending on your career goals. What is your purpose? Sometimes it's because it's your first experience, you want to start to understand what you like to do the best. So definitely I think internships will help you figure out a little bit what you like to do for your next career step. So I just wanted to start. I know there were a lot of questions in the chat about, what makes Amazon different, what did this and that. But I wanted maybe start with you, Jess. You started, having a master in architecture, and then you are in operation. Just wanted to start by tackling motivation, so other students here today can also hear what motivates someone to apply for Amazon, regardless of their background. So wanted to ask you, what motivated you to apply for an internship at Amazon?
So basically, it was a recruiter or an ex-intern that motivated me. So I got a message from my LinkedIn around October 2021, and then they sent the link. I began the process, and then I cancelled it because I thought it had nothing to do with what I studied in uni. So they reached out again in November, and then I decided, okay, I'll just apply for it because that time my thesis was taking a drain on me. So I just took some few hours off and then completed the application process. And then after that, I knew someone who was doing working in operations and logistics. I asked them for advice, and they said, you know what, there's no harm in trying because the company they work for, they've got people from different backgrounds. So I just went through, I was successful through the whole process. And by January, I had the offer. And then I started the internship in July. So that's my motivation.
It was quite a straightforward process. Maybe you never thought about Amazon before, but because someone reminded you about that, just made you, let me see if this company aligns as well
Yeah,
with me, with my values, regardless of my background. If they are so welcoming of different backgrounds, let me try it. And it turned out that, it was a good
I did.
choice for you indeed at the end.
Yeah.
Amazing. Um, thank you. Thank you for your answer. you know, I think, Vivian, we hear so many things about Amazon, so many. I mean, we are one of the biggest companies around the world, that I wonder, from a candidate like you, from your perspective, um, what were the expectations when you joined Amazon, and how did they evolve over time?
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. So, in terms of expectations, to be honest, I really didn't know what to expect. It was a completely different world for me. While I was studying in university, I was actually working in hospitality. So I started working in hotels when I was 16 years old, and I've always been in love with the hospitality industry and taking care of customers and that customer obsession that Amazon has. That's actually what drew me to Amazon. So the only expectation that I had was I hope I'm going to see that customer obsession I'm looking for to the next level, because I was shifting from operation to corporate, and I was very excited for it. But again, it's a big company. It was a big corporate, so I didn't really know what I was going to face. I was actually very surprised. I told myself, okay, yeah, I'm gonna try the internship and then we'll see. And I actually realized over time that I loved it very much. I love the culture that Amazon has, that hospitality in the sense of being very welcome. I was welcomed very good by everyone in Amazon, by my team, by my organization. So I was very surprised. Um, so in terms of how my expectation evolved over time, I guess it just made a bigger impact because I actually decided to stay. And the things that I liked the most about the culture was, as I said, the customer obsession, but as well the ownership and the innovation that the company gives you. That's probably the main reason why I'm staying.
Maybe I think it's good time for jumping into that part where, I think it was Matt that asked us, is there any space for interns to innovate? And I know that we are, doing a little bit of random asking here, but definitely for both of you, do you think that there is um, an open resource for interns to kind of innovate within Amazon?
Um, from my side, definitely. So I was left not alone. Well, I was left alone. It sounds bad, but I was given a lot of space to use my brain and to think as big as I could. I actually, like when I was an intern, I actually innovated in a sense that I introduced a whole new process to improve the way that we were visiting sites. So just to give you a little bit of a background, I was a project manager for Fresh under the tech pillar. So I was looking at everything tech related in our fulfillment centers from the moment that an order was made to the moment that the order was out. And because of that, we were visiting sites a lot. So I actually saw another questions in regards to travel. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
just say attach it. I actually traveled quite a few times
depends on the
in
internship
my
indeed.
in my
Yeah.
internship. Yeah. But I realized that there was no way that we were tracking this visit, so I implemented a whole new process to be able to track this visit, um, act, to be able to action on our observations, and the whole process actually evolved to the whole organization. So that was quite nice. I
Yeah,
guess that
so
was
what
a,
an
a big
impact.
innovation.
Yeah, scalable projects, we love them, right? So again, just I want to pass the word to Jess, but definitely I think that is a great example, Vivian, how an intern can definitely, come up with this idea, and it's very, very much welcome. And I know that some projects might be already, think through with your manager and with your mentor, but definitely there is a lot of room for you to propose additional projects if you see something that can be improved, if you see something that can be innovated and cause a bigger impact to the organization.
Yes,
Jess, you want to say,
absolutely.
yeah, do you want
Yeah.
to say something about this as well?
Yeah, just to add to it, is that the innovation in Amazon is not just top down, as in, like the
Mm,
leaders would suggest an idea that everyone needs
the
to
other
do
way
it.
around, right?
It is bottom up in the sense that everyone is being asked for their ideas, from associates to managers to everyone. So it is implemented around site, and then it just gets bigger. So in terms of associates, we do ask them, what do you want to see? Tell us what you want to see, and then we get it done on site. And we even have tools for that, the CI idea, so continuous improvement kiosk. And then with managers as well, if you are able to take it on as a project for yourself, it is for your improvement. But for interns as well, it does go a long way for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also a good bridge to my next question, Jess. Would will be, you started as an operations intern, you stayed and performed the same exact job. There's a lot of things within operations that I'm very passionate about, and I remember when I was a recruiting area manager, is that it's an amazing job to be on site with that whole operation behind you that you are responsible for. But I wanted to understand, what do you like the most about working in Amazon in your role? Did you had any challenge that made you grow, something like that?
Yeah. So I'll mention two things, and it would all be based on the Amazonian culture. So the first one would be work hard, have fun, and make history. So
Yeah.
we do work hard as Amazon because of the pace of the operations is really fast paced. You will be pushed to your utmost limit. That is where you have to work hard, but we do have fun in terms of engagement. We do celebrate a lot of things, a lot of communities, a lot of events like Caribbean festivals, the Eid, Christmas, everything. We do have things that come on site, and then you get the chance to make history in the sense that you do innovate, and then you do get recognized for everything that you do. That's in the terms of making history. But then also, I like the most is about the leadership principle, because that is like the backbone of Amazon. So in terms of leadership principles, that also drives you, because I know that coming out of uni into the corporate world, you need to have some kind of steps and guidelines, and then the leadership principle will also help you to see if you are on track, and also help you stay in connection to the company's ethos. So those are my two things that I like about working with Amazon.
I think, someone hearing us, it might seem that, we trained you to say these things, but this is not true.
Yeah.
We did had some questions prepared in advance for you to think of, but definitely just wanted to mention that this comes completely out of your experience. And I just love to hear those answers, because again, it makes me appreciate even more the company that I work for, and also my job. Um, I think one of the things that you mentioned in the past, Vivian, was about this project that you work for scalability. So I know that one of the most peculiar things since I've been hiring for internships at Amazon is that I recognize that this is a very hands-on kind of experience, and interns are pretty much involved in responsibility, day-to-day work. This is not bring your coffee kind of internship. It's very, very hands-on. So I wonder, if you have any specific projects or tasks that you worked during your internship, and do you think it had contributed for your growth and development? So other projects that you may think of that might be worth sharing with the members today.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I was kind of threw into the job on my first day. So I barely knew anyone, and I was already given a project to work on. So as I was saying, I was looking at everything under tech. So all my projects were tech related. In few projects that I worked on was very specific in terms of process improvements of what was happening in the warehouses. So without getting into much details, let's say um, Angela was explaining it before as well. When you make an order, the associate will go and pick the order. So physically going and get the product off the shelf, in my case, the grocery, and put it in a bag. This process was actually one of my project was actually to improve this process in a project that was called Cherry Pick. So that was a main project. What was nice of this project was that I was aligned with North America and Japan. So North America has already launched this kind of process, and my role was getting their information, their discovery, and transition it into the UK. So we piloted in a couple of sites. We see how the process was going, and we eventually decided to launch it. And I was working with Japan because Japan was also interested in that project. So we united as in two countries to make sure that we were both able to pilot and try it at the same time. Another project that I have that was mainly my biggest one, and it took literally basically all my 6 months, was that I was responsible for the operational planning. We in Amazon we call it the OP1. It's basically a process in which the FCs, so the fulfillment centers, get to us and they tell us, hey, we would like to see this happening or this changing or whatever. They
Yeah.
literally have any requests, and we take these requests and we elaborate them, we scope them, we go through them with finance, and eventually we propose them for this operational plan that would be in the following year. So that was definitely one of the biggest plan. And then my project, my like own project, that was the process improvement for the site visits. These were the biggest three.
Yeah, I mean, so our internships usually run from 3 to 6 months or 4 to 6 months, and you can see just in 6 months how many projects are you able to deliver, and with so many different aspects of it. I mean, if you are not growing within that space, what are you doing, right?
Yeah,
So it's a lot of
absolutely.
growth. Sometimes it's really fast-paced growth, and you have to have the kind of structure and culture within yourself to pick up those projects and to deliver with quality for sure. But it's very interesting to see, again, for this audience, this is not, bring your coffee kind of internship for
Yeah, no,
sure.
absolutely. And it's I just wanted to add that it doesn't have to be, all your project don't have to be work related. So like one things that I did with a team mate of mine in my previous role was to create a book club for the whole organization. Um, a book club with books focusing on career growth and self-development, and mental health. So something completely different than my tech job.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, so definitely not only job related, but also things related to your own interests. All right, I know that I wanted to save some time for like 10 minutes for your questions, but we know we have been answering most of your questions in the chat. And I still wanted to ask some of the questions to Jess and Vivian, but one of the things that we have a lot of questions in the chat has been, kind of what is a mentor? Do we have support? And I know that internship experience sometimes is an intern first employment experience, or at least can be a stressful situation that in Amazon it's very fast paced. But definitely I wanted to ensure that the audience understands what's the support behind as well, right? So we do have a lot of these projects to work on, but you're not fully alone on those. So maybe Jess, you can answer, like, what kind of support have you received during your internship from your team? How that support kind of help you being successful in what you were doing and the projects that you were delivering?
So with the support, honestly, it is countless. So I'll start with support from the top. So from the site leader, from day one, the site leader has always been like the best communication, like weekly one-to-ones, just trying to support you, treat you as a manager as well, instead of just an intern, and then adding you to the team, giving you responsibilities to achieve a goal, and also support from AMZL like instructors. So with I was in the delivery station to start with, so we had a 2 week course in which I met one of the instructors, and then she became like a mentor as well. She luckily her home site was closer to mine, so she visited me I think 4 times. She looked through my white paper, my project.
Hmm.
She also made sure I found a balance between doing the project, having fun at Amazon, and also like getting involved in the team. And also all the other managers acted as mentors. So I didn't have just one mentor. All the managers were nice. They were teaching me everything I wanted to know. And then because I was showing the motivation that I really wanted to work in ops. So be like, okay, you do this, you can do the start or shift brief today, and then you can develop it when you get your own role. So basically, they treated me like I had my own role already. So in the startup shift, and then also with feedback and praises, so they give accolades and badges and everything. So by the time I was done, like I had so many accolades at the end, so much feedback, and I had actually got into the role before I started my own role as an area manager.
Yeah, I mean, from top to down, you had all of the support that you needed, and you were treated as, part of the team, part of the family, as we used to call it. Yeah, lovely to see. I know that we have just short period of time, but there is one question that keeps popping into the chat that I want to make everyone very clear. We had selected Vivian and Jess for being here, but we could select 100, 200 more that have, transitioned from an internship position to a full-time position. So just wanted to ask you, both of you, if you could tell us a little bit more how you became an Amazon full-time employee after your internship.
I can go first.
Yeah, go.
So, well, quite straightforward. My team could not keep me because unfortunately they couldn't hire me in that team, and I wanted to stay within the company. So I started to apply to other roles that were available. I was an intern, but I had to. I could apply internally in the sense that I was applying externally, but then had sort of like a shorter panel, so not like a full panel, like an external candidate. And I applied for different roles. I got different offers, and the current role that I was in now was the one that I liked it the most.
I can add a little bit on that before I jump into Jess as well. So, for any successful intern at Amazon, there is a conversion path that you are in. So conversion path, basically, it is a really simplified recruitment process, whether you want to still continue in the same position, and I know Jess will talk about this, so you probably just got an offer and that's it. But if you also want to pursue any other positions at Amazon, there is a simplified process for those that want to do that, and a lot of open positions for you to also search something that you like. And basically what that conversion process makes you eligible for is that you skip initial stages of recruitment. And if it's a different position that the one that you were doing the internship, you kind of just skip the initial, go just do a panel, which is one of the steps in our recruitment process. Simplified one, which is to people from the business, just to ensure that you have the right amount of leadership principles aligning with that team. And this is what happened with Vivian. So we make absolute our priority for successful interns to be converted into full-time positions. It's actually when we have an open position for an external candidate, the intern pool that we have for successful candidates will be prioritized against any other external candidate, because these are people that came into our operations and deliver the best, and we want to prioritize them against any other candidates that we have. Jess, do you want to go ahead and share your experience so I can save 5 minutes for questions at the end?
All right. So I think mine was direct. Basically, during the one-to-ones with my site leader, he asked if I saw myself being in Amazon because he would see me as a successful manager in the role. So despite what I studied, so after the fourth month, he just asked me to reach out to other site managers that we had already like gone to meetings and seen, and then also talking to the recruiter. So after my evaluation, a week before I left, I had already had an offer, which I accepted. So I was just on holiday for 3 weeks and then I started my new role. So it was much simpler. Yeah.
Yeah, so in your case, if you want to transition for the same kind of position that you did in the past, nothing that you need to do, someone will just make an offer to you, and that's it. If there is an open position and you are willing to go for that. So yeah, I think, there's another question that I would like to ask, but I will leave this 5 minutes in the chat. So I think that we can take this time, and I'm putting on the next slide. Please keep yourselves on camera. I will ask Lucia and Angela also to join me. But basically, I wanted to save this time for you to ask questions to Vivian and Jess. I think this is a great opportunity. We've been answering most of your questions related to Amazon in our Q&A chat. You gave us a lot of questions, a lot of food for thought as well. So thank you for being so active in there and making us work very much to provide you some of those answers. But take the opportunity to ask something to Vivian and Jess while we have this 5 minutes. And just to close this will be shared with you after this presentation. We have some of our open positions within the UK for business analysts, program management, operations and logistics, and also finance analyst. So you can go in there and check those. Of course, we cannot have them all in here, right? So we have a lot of other open positions for Amazon, but especially those are the positions that we are currently hiring for, and looking forward to see some of your applications in there. Just wanted to go through Q&A. Lucia, Ange, if you want to, help me to see if there is any question in there that we might be able to take within this 4 minutes that we have left.
Yes, I can see there are some questions in the chat regarding tech internships. Our team specifically does not hire tech internships. However, indeed, we have tech internships available. So what I would suggest you is to go into Amazon.jobs and find those tech internships in there. If you go find internships, just a quick search, you'll find those. So my suggestion is I encourage you to go there and try to find your cup of tea.
Yeah, and plus one on that, same goes for any internship you don't feel that fits in either a corporate space or an operational space. Go for Amazon.jobs and just search with keywords and everything you're interested in. I can see questions about like UX, UI, design. Just search and you will find a lot of information, and you can apply to multiple internships. So go for it. Anyone that suits you, just apply and continue with the recruitment process. Then Sylvia, to be fair, question why might Amazon use quite a lot of packaging just for something so small? I unfortunately don't have an answer for that. It's a good question, but maybe there's probably a reason. Yeah,
Jess, you want to jump in? Jess?
Actually, there's an option that you should go into your application where you can choose to have maybe all your items put in the same box. So you reduce the packaging, and that's a really sustainable initiative that Amazon has been launching recently. And I personally love, so maybe you get your items one day later, not the same day, just because one of them might be getting a bit later, but you get them all in the same package, and that's you're contributing to a bit more of a sustainable world.
For sure. We also got the deadline for internships. I don't know if you mean start date or end date.
Maybe
internships
that would be interesting to speak.
Yeah, definitely. They last between 3 to 6 months. It's generally for you to decide the length of the internship. There's not actually a deadline because really we recruit throughout the whole year. For example, now we're of course recruiting for 2024, and ideally would be in the first half of the year that we would start your internship. But yet again, there's not a specific deadline. It's something we align with you and of course with your university for any type of internship agreement that needs to be signed.
Yeah, I agree. I think what we need to clarify with the audience today is that this is a time for you to apply for an internship if you want
Oh
to have an
yes.
internship in 2024, because this is a time where we have the most open positions available, and there is a bigger chance for you to be selected for one of those positions. Um, I think NK was asking a question as well about how can I tailor my own experience with Amazon. I think, Vivian is the example of that, but also Jess is the example of that. So you can start by understanding what kind of internship would you be interested in. That does not mean that you'll stay within that internship, just means that you get a taste out of Amazon culture, how we function, if this is something that is aligned for you in terms of company as well. And then you can progress to whatever it is that you might be more interested in, right? So you do your internship. At the end, you say, well, I love Amazon, and maybe, program manager is not for me. Maybe I want to do something that is more related to operations because I've been in sites and I just love sites. I just love being on the floor. So there's always an opportunity for anyone to choose and tailor their career path. And we've seen this even in our teams on recruitment. We have people that have started. I have a case of a colleague, and Anja and Lucia are my colleagues as well, so they know about this. She started as a level 1 in one of our fulfillment centers. Level 1s are our associates that are doing pick, pack, ship, whatever that is. She progressed to level 4 area manager, which it takes a little bit of determination for you to do that, but a lot of open space as well in Amazon for progression. And then she did an STA, and the recruitment team. We had a START program back then. We love to have people from operations coming to our recruitment processes to see things with a fresh pair of eyes. And she loved so much recruitment that she stayed within recruitment. So coming from operations to recruitment, and it's still a very possible thing that you can do within Amazon for sure. Just trying to see whether there's more questions.
We are
in
right
there.
on time, so
Yeah.
we can just stop there.
Yeah, thank you, Lucia, for reminding me that's 5:01, and I know that maybe there's some words from you that you wanna say something, right?
No, I mean, we're right on time. I think, Andrew, do you want to?
Yeah, it's the Andrew. Sorry, it's
Yeah.
Andrew. Maybe he wants to close this, right?
You're muted. That's why we're not hearing you. No, we still cannot hear you. Not still muted. Hey, so he has left the room and joined
I'm back
again.
now. I'm back
Yes,
now. Can
you
you hear me?
are. You are. We can hear you now. Thank you.
Hooray. Right. Unfortunately, yes, that was perfect. We ended on time. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And thank you guys, of course, for taking us through so many questions, so many answers, and answering them all very well and sharing us the insight of working at Amazon. Remember, it'll be on our YouTube and website within the coming days. So thank you very much, guys. And I'll see you all in the next intern week.
Thank
session.
you. Thank you for having
See ya.
us.
Thank
Goodbye.
Vivian as well.
Bye.
Bye.